Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're jumping back into Black Clover Mobile, and we're going to be taking a look at two brand new characters that are going to be hitting our rosters tomorrow. That is Kahono and Kiato. We're going to talk about their kits and discuss if they're characters that you want to go for or if you should wait. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. But first, before we do, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it with two new characters joining our roster tomorrow. A lot of questions are around, should I go for those characters? Are they good characters? Are they critical? Do I need them, or can I wait for some other characters? Like for me, I'm super excited for Black Asta to hit our roster. I'm really looking forward to that and his kit. But let's talk about these two right now. So when we talk about Kiato and Kahono. Let's jump into this here really quick. We're going to talk about Kahono first. So she's a healer. She's a blue healer. And we already have a blue healer in Swimsuit Charmy, and she's very good. She's got continuous healing. She also can dispel continuous damage, which is very, very good, especially with the current special episode that's going on right now. We also have Mimosa for a healer as well, who's got a revive, which is super, super helpful. She is a green healer. So we've got a good blue and a good green. Let's take a look at Kahono's kit right now. When you take a look at her basic, it grants the ally with the lowest HP some continuous recovery, which is good. Her skill 2 here grants barrier. Now we're seeing more and more characters hit the roster with barrier. We're also starting to see more barrier teams in PvP. And when I take a look at brand new characters hitting our roster, really what I look at is how good are they going to be in PvP, because in all honesty, you don't need anybody other than the base characters currently in the game in order to complete PvE, in order to complete all 6 chapters that are currently there. As the story continues to unfold, we may need more, but right now she's not critical to that. However, when we take a look at PvP, we are seeing a lot of barrier in there, right? So I can see where people may add her to that team, because we have Radies with barrier, we have Swimsuit Noelle with barrier, Swimsuit Charmy makes up a good part of that team, and then Julius. Those 4, I'm seeing a lot. Those 4 are actually really good defense teams when you put them together. However, adding her adds another barrier. So if you're taking a look at PvP, I think she'll do fairly well there. I don't think she's critical, though. All right, she also has, she can also give increased defense and increased HP. When we take a look at her skill 3 here, then she grants all allies HP recovery, but she also gives attack as well. And then her combined attack here gives HP recovery to the partnered mage and then increases attack as well. I think maybe where I feel that they may have missed the boat a little bit is she doesn't have a perfect partner when it comes to her combined attack. So I think it would have been cool if they would have partnered her up with her brother Kiato, and then you'd have 2 other spots on your team to fill with whatever you needed, right? So I think maybe that was a missed opportunity, but so that's her. And when you take a look at her passives here, she gives some reduced damage. She also gives some increased max HP. If we took a look at her stats here really quick, let's just take her out, max her out. Her max base stats are going to put her at 26k, which is pretty on par with Swimsuit Charmy and Mimosa. But when we take a look at healers and the question, do you need Kahono? Free-to-play players, no. I would say no, because I feel Charmy and Mimosa are better options than Kahono is right now. But if you're pay-to-play, you're going to get her anyway. If you're a collector, you're going to get her anyway. But if you're someone that says, I can only go for one or the other, if it was me, I would go for Kiato. Kiato's got a pretty cool kit. He's all damage. So let's just run through his kit really quick. His basic here, if he's got a buff, and pretty much every turn, everybody's got a buff in this game, especially if you build your team right, then he's going to do some increased damage. His skill 2, this is nice. Attacks after granting 10% increased crit buff for every active buff present. Skill 3 here, if 2 or more active buffs, if there are 2 or more active buffs against enemies, attacks against enemies will become crits. Man, that took a that was a bit to get out. However, that is cool. You do some increased damage there. You also have some increased accuracy also. And then the combined attack here, some increased damage as well. So I think for him being a blue attacker, I think he would be pretty good to go after if you were going to go after one or the other. So those are a couple of my thoughts. Here's his passives here. He does some increased damage dealt, as well as this enthralling dance, which is pretty interesting. So when there's an active buff, right? So it gives 5% increase in durage and damage resistance. But upon stacking 5 of those, then you're going to get soon to be idle, and you're going to get a 30% increase to endurance, damage resistance, and damage dealt. So I think he's going to be pretty good. Just my 2 cents. And those are the two. Again, when you take a look at these characters and how they're going to perform in PvE and PvP, I think Kahono, people will probably want to go after her because of barrier to create an all-barrier team, which is pretty strong in PvP. And then Kiato, I think people will want to go after him just because of his damage. So it really depends on what type of teams you are creating. And if you want to focus more on PvP or PvE. PvE, you don't need them. PvP, you might want to play around with them a little bit. So those are my thoughts on these 2 new characters. Again, they're coming out tomorrow. Very curious. What are your thoughts on them and their kits? Are you going after anybody, or are you going to wait? Because really, who I'm super excited for right now is Black Asta. Just wanted to taking a look at his kit. He's got some pretty cool stuff coming, and he's pretty strong. All right, everybody, those are my thoughts. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.